Welcome to the second video on overcoming stress. I'm Master David Paul. I'm a teacher of Tai Chi Gung here in the Denver area. And one of the aspects of overcoming stress that is quite commonly talked about is changing one's breathing. Okay, and there are a lot of different approaches to this. And I just wanted to take a moment to explain from an energy standpoint why that works. Why does working with your breathing mechanism help you overcome stress and let it go? The original Tai Chi Gung master was a master of 3 yogas, and he was born in India more than 3,000 years ago. He mastered Hatha, Pranayama, and Kundalini yoga, as well as Japa yoga, which is the yoga of the malas, the affirmations. And at one point, he became somewhat dissatisfied with his training and where his masters were leading because they spent so much time out of the physical body. And he felt, well, if the divine is omnipresent and all-powerful, why are these people spending days and weeks in meditation and their bodies are withering away because they're not eating and they're not drinking? Didn't make a lot of sense to him. So in his meditations, he began to see these magnificent waterfalls and this beautiful rainforest. And he came across a holy man by the Ganges who, in a conversation, suggested that that was probably visions of China. So he traveled to China and he spent more than 50 years doing his yoga in nature to discover the regenerative force of nature and how it relates to the physical body, its health and longevity, and how that all fits into a spiritual transformation that includes the health and well-being of the third dimension, being in a body. What's that all about? Most adults experience their life as one stressful event to another, interrupted by short periods of vacation, calm, and peace. It's kind of like, oh my goodness, what did I sign up for? So in the first video, we talked a little bit about how the resistance plays such a big role in how we experience things. So it's the holding on that is causing the situation, right? We're not going to remove ourselves from our loved ones. We're not going to remove ourselves from the things that we're passionate about just because every once in a while we have to overcome an obstacle. Some people really believe that the obstacles become our greatest teachers. But if you're going in blind and you have no way of coping, it can really be tremendously stressful, right? So in nature, over that 50 years, Boganathar, who was known in China actually as Lao Tzu, discovered that the breath itself is the bridge between one's energy field, the aura, or the electromagnetic field that surrounds the physical body, and the physical body itself. Why is that important? Because stress begins in a reaction of shutting down the chi. We can describe it that way. So stress is the uncomfortable thing you want to avoid, right? So the mind and the emotions, which vibrate in the field, are actually surrounding all of the physical body, and understanding that the breath is the bridge between those. If you restrict the breath, or you have a very agitated thought and feeling that you're then breathing in and through the physical body, that is the equation that leads to the situation. So, how is it that you overcome it? Well, in the practice of Tai Chi Gung, we actually learn how to free the breath which starts to, in a certain sense, like putting a dirty shirt in the wash machine, right? So we're going to circulate. The water circulates and loosens the dirt. And the freeing of the breath loosens the restriction. And then we learn to harness the mind and cooperate with nature in such a way where we can literally let it go. And that allows a person a really unique situation. You can go into a stressful environment where you're really determined to overcome, and you can bring some of that stress home, but now you have a way of getting rid of it. So that, for example, you don't burn out. If you're a teacher, for example, especially in the spring, the kids want to be on vacation and you're approaching the 8th and the 9th month of being, and one day after another, after another, after another, you just can't wait for summer vacation. You know, that environment of stacking, this happens all the time. So if you have a way of pulling that out with a technique that has been around for more than 3,000 years, it becomes an incredible tool, an incredible tool. So I'd invite you to try it. For new students, we offer a free class. If you go to the website, you can register, and then that digital card is good for any class the next 30 days. So I'd really encourage you to give it a try if you're drawn to it. And if you have any questions, drop me a note. I'd be happy to answer them. Thank you.